I hope I look like the Mona Lisa through here. Yes. I'm beautiful, but I'm hella small when you actually see me. Fourth track, and then we're going wagon for the step. Great. Extra scenery. In this box here, I've also got the that's all right. This one's just a hump of junk. Yeah, no. See, when I got grounded a lot, you know, I had all this stuff lying around, and I just kind of started to, I guess, observing it, maybe playing with it. At the time, I still kind of thought I'm too old for this kind of thing. And then one day, I found one of my older storybooks of an episode, and the episode had, you know, the book had like stills from that episode in particular, and that's when I kind of realized, you know, this was done with model trains. I think the most difficult thing with filming in these parks is, like, you know, a lot of parks put fences next to the trails, which is very annoying. I only wish that this, like, all this stuff wasn't here, you know, all the giant, because I could have filmed on this side. If it was legal for me to walk more onto that area, then I would definitely do it right here. There's actually two places I was thinking of. I could either do it in this spot over here, or I could do it more down here. I'm just gonna take out the camera, just see how it... I forgot the camera in my car.
Actually?
Yes. Okay. I forgot the camera. So, I've always been a fan of Thomas the Tank Engine since I was young, but around grade school, as I entered that, I kind of lost interest for a while with, you know, the rise of video games like Minecraft, Angry Birds, more captivating my attention. Until I hit the end of grade school when I started getting grounded a lot, you know, because I'm not exactly a good student. So this kind of came back into my life. When I was way younger, I kind of thought it was real, because when they were making the show, they wanted to recapture this sort of real feeling to it. So that's why they filmed it with models. And that kind of piqued my interest at it, right? It kind of made me want to learn more about this world. And then I found out there's like a whole history of this show. It was made back in like the 1940s by an author who wanted to kind of comfort his son who was ill with measles. So he made a story about just talking trains who lived on an island, which eventually evolved into just a love letter for trains, you know? Just something that the general enthusiast for, like, you know, train spotters could enjoy, right? Because he started like incorporating more real life elements into it. Like the crashes, at least in the original series, are actually based on real events, like rams breaking into stations or trains crashing into other trains in certain ways or falling off the track were based on real life events. And that's why it kind of captivated my attention, that like there's a lot behind it. Because at surface level, yeah, you know, it's just a, you know, funny little train show for kids, but there's a lot more to it. One of my first cameras was actually an iPad 4, you know. It was kind of all I had, because I'd actually seen people on YouTube in the early days do stuff like this too. Recreate episodes or do their own thing. So usually one of the first things I do is take out what I call the landmark areas. Here we have Cranky the Crane on this set, which we're going to do today, which is known as Brendam Docks, or the harbor. And after that, we're going to get some of the track work. And the set that this will be taken on is an episode called Cranky Bugs, which was the season 5 premiere, one of my personal favorites. Though I remember as a kid, I was personally terrified of this guy, you know. The lightning and his angry expressions just made it something where it gave me nightmares at night. The next thing we need is the set dressing, the buildings and walls, you know, all that. Also have a little signal box over here. Now in this episode that we're doing, the main characters are Thomas and Percy themselves. Here we go, this one. All right, and there we go. Now you think it's all done, right? But there's actually a few more we could do to, I think, maybe spice it up just a little bit more. You know, maybe we could actually put some buildings behind the brick wall. What I do also have, though, is, you know, I have a bag of little people to bring the set alive I can put out on the set. And there we go, ready for filming. Actually, it was all kind of in my living room pretty much, and in my own room. And then I had to get rid of that a few years later, and I decided, why not just do what other people do? And just go other place, do what like the original TV series did. Just build different sets, film all on that, and just go somewhere else for the next set. What do your parents think when you get back into this? Well, I mean, they thought it was kind of weird, but I guess just me liking it for a while and talking about it with them kind of just made it more just something they became accustomed to. Well, my friends know about it. It's just sometimes, I mean, just with people in general, I can be a little hesitant to share it with people, but I don't really, sometimes I just don't care. I've learned to not care over the years. It doesn't really matter. You know, the opinions of people shouldn't weigh you down or stop you in what you like. So I'm still kind of in the process of not caring. This has even eventually kind of evolved to me being interested in other film in general. You know, it's kind of, this is what I mean, just stuff like this was all I was into when I was younger. And then as I got older, I started liking more films. Stuff that I thought back then was kind of boring, but no, there's an art to it, you know. My favorite thing about learning about like those films is the technical aspect. Especially with older films, you know, they don't have the advantage that newer films have, where you can just CGI it up. Back then, they've got to do a lot of camera tricks. So, you know, this is still very much a big part of my interest in film. Although the show has gone down the toilet, right? The fan content hasn't died. If anything, it's grown. It's gotten better as the years go by. A recent trend that fans have actually done is rebuild actual props from the show. It looks like the exact thing. Some fans do their own series, you know, their own storylines and overarching plots. Some of them even hire their own voice actors and narrators for it. You know, it's a pretty cool thing to witness as time goes on. And it only gets better from there. I'd like to hope that in the future, you know, I mean, ultimately, this is just a hobby. I'd like to think that this maybe gave me some experience and an interest in wanting to pursue this as an actual job, where I could be more a cameraman or a set designer kind of thing, you know, because that's what I've kind of discovered, what I like. And I'd like to hope that maybe the techniques that I have applied here, I could apply when I actually work on something one day.